The amount of isolation with these kids, being at home for long periods of time, missing out on their healthy activities such as sports, meetings. My concern is just other alternatives they might be involved in. I'm afraid of, maybe using substances where they might not have before, or abusing substances. And I think right now, more than ever, they have an urge to try substances and their only access is at home, then of course that's where it would happen. So I would take extra steps now to make sure that you lock up your liquor cabinets, you don't have the alcohol available in the home.
Just keep your eye on your kids, check in on them, make sure they're behaving and doing something they're not supposed to do on the internet and everything like that.
Spending a lot of time on their computers with class and everything, so monitoring their internet use when possible, social media, that's another good way to kind of keep an eye on what they're doing. But now more than ever, the kids really need positive influences and positive things to do.
Get your work, get your schoolwork done, obviously. So if it's a nice day, go outside for a walk. I don't know if anybody has like home gyms or home exercises you can do at home. And keeping communication with friends and people you like, and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of the best way to do it. That's what my two boys are doing. If it's a nice day, they're out shooting hoops, or they end up talking to their friends via the gaming system or through the phone. The social host states that if you allow underage drinking on your property, not only are you going to be charged with a crime by the police, but more importantly, you open yourself up to a civil lawsuit. I mean, God forbid if anything happens to any kid, whether they fall down, hurt their little pinky finger, or they die, you open yourself up to a massive lawsuit. So, I mean, the civil, like I said, the civil carries more weight than the criminal, believe it or not.
Having people over, even substances or not, it's not only is it unhealthy for the kid, it's against the law having social hosts serving alcohol, but also it's spreading COVID-19. So there's a bunch of new challenges that we're facing right now. So culturally, like within the school community, I've seen it happen. The embarrassment of the parent and like kind of the stigma that's thrown on the parents. Because obviously when these things happen, it's posted in in our newspapers, social media, and it shows great irresponsibility by the families. And I've seen a lot of, and it not only affects the parents, it affects the kids. They come in and they're embarrassed that people are judging them because their family was irresponsible. So it's just something you want to avoid.
I actually just talked about this about a week or two ago in DARE class. I told the kids to get some type of password or code system set up with the parents, that if anything happens, they can text them or call them, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whatever that code is. After the kids are in trouble, and they can figure out a plan to come pick them up. It's best to have something in place and not need it, then God forbid you need something and you don't have it.
Over the years, I've become more open-minded. When I first came to the schools, I was telling the kids and parents, no, they shouldn't be drinking anyway, you shouldn't be allowing this. And obviously it's still the case, it's against the law. But we have to be open-minded as adults in this community that things do happen, mistakes are made. And instead of, just straight out prohibiting it, we have to have a plan. When it happens, if it happens, we have to have a plan B. So like I tell the parents, that if a mistake is made, the parents I've already told them, this is what I want you to do. I want you to call me. I want you, like Officer Ramsey said, have a code word. But this can't be a discussion that they first have at midnight on a Friday night, and the parents have no clue what's going on, and now they have to react. This should be something easily that's in place already. And a variety of scenarios, in a house where there's alcohol, in a car where there's alcohol, having an intoxicated friend, what to do with them. These are easy discussions that they can have now, and we're not condoning it by any means, but we're being realistic that we have to be prepared for any scenario. what you bring up is probably the most common concern that I have when I speak with health classes for sophomores, and they always bring this up, like, well, how come, the kid that's captain of the football team, well, how come when he gets in trouble, he loses everything, but the kid that has no activities, how come nothing happens to them? And it's really the first adult lesson that these kids learn. I mean, when you have something to lose, you have something to lose, meaning you worked hard for something, you earned that position. Just like any of us in like a position of public trust. If we get in trouble for drinking and driving, we lose our jobs, we lose our homes, we lose everything. Now, if we had none of that, no, we have nothing to lose, but we have more responsibility. We have a lot we have to hold on to. So kids that work hard for these positions, kids that are playing multiple sports, they're in National Honor Society, whatever they're in, yeah, they are held to a higher expectation, and they represent our school, and they're a role model to younger children. Like when you have all the youth sports in town, they look at our varsity athletes as role models. So yeah, they are held to a higher expectation. And so this is something we talk about, that you accept those responsibilities, you have to make the tough decisions of not going to parties or not being in the presence of alcohol.
I mean, like I said, for me personally, when I was growing up here in town, sports was my thing, and I would do anything not to lose it. So that was a huge deterrent for me when I was growing up. It's an honor to wear that red and white H on your chest. You got to do your best to uphold to that standard.
I talk to the kids about, in regards to some kids getting caught and other kids not getting caught, I discuss calculated risk. So, for example, as police officers, on any given night, there could be multiple people on the road drinking and driving. You're not going to catch them all, but the one you catch, are you going to let them go? Because when the person says, well, there's other people drinking and driving on the road, you just caught me. You don't let them go. It's a calculated risk. You went on the road that night, you got caught, you have to face the consequences. And I tell the kids, if every time you go to a party with alcohol, it's a calculated risk. You might get away with it, you might not. But the only way to get 100% guarantee you're not getting into trouble is you can't beat that. And if your sport means something to you, your activity means something to you, the calculated risk is don't show up, you'll be able to play on Monday or Tuesday, whenever.
I'm at the middle school, Officer Ford's at the high school, Officer McGillicuddy is with the elementary schools, members of Hingham Cares.
Cheryl West is the social worker for the town's Board of Health Department.
It's like mental health issues too, contact your pediatrician, your doctor.
I would say on the student level, our best resource in the schools are the guidance counselors. They know everything. They know everything about the kids. They have a bunch of references for outside social work, outside therapists, and the kids really trust them. So some of the cases I've worked on, it started with just the counselors having informal conversations with the students. So I would, and parents too, I would recommend that you talk to your child's guidance counselor, because you'll be surprised the insight that they have. They really do know your kids.
Lynn, just been hanging with my sons. Like I said, they're always out, especially little guys, always out playing basketball on the street. I'll go shoot hoops with them. Got back out playing golf, and the weather was nice for the first time in a couple of years. That's been working out, really. I mean, like I said, I have a home gym in my garage. So we're doing stuff like that.
Actually, yeah, the one thing I miss about with COVID is seeing my friend Officer Ramsey. I mean, we don't get to see each other anymore, so we see each other at work. But yeah, I spend a lot of time on my Peloton, and I'm learning how to play guitar, which Officer Ramsey, am I getting pretty good?
You're pretty good. Yeah, I'll give you props. Yeah.
So yeah, I play for him on Zoom. So yeah. Other than that, honestly, just any chance we get to see the kids at school, it really brightens our day. We're hoping that in the spring it gets a little better, but we're ready. I mean, when kids come back, I'm sure the kids are going to need emotional support, so we're preparing for that, and we want to be available to them when school's up and running.
The best thing is everyone stay safe, use common sense, and stay healthy.
Yeah, I would. Last thing I'd say is just be good to each other. Times are tough right now. Empathy is something I think we all need to learn is thinking about others and how they're feeling. And everyone has their own comfort level during this, and we just have to respect each other and be good to each other.